I'm Dr. Petrosian, and this is a PNI Minute. April is Parkinson's Disease Awareness Month, and today I'd like to talk to you about neuroplasticity and how it relates to Parkinson's disease. Neuroplasticity refers to the fact that our brains are changing over the course of our lifetime based on our behaviors and our thought processes. The reason why this is so exciting is it's really suggestive of the fact that people who have Parkinson's can do something and can take ownership of their disease process. One of the most important things is exercise. There's been a lot of recent evidence that exercise can slow down the progression of the disease. And there's a few reasons why we think that is. And one of them is what we call neuroplasticity. Other reasons could be that exercise seems to allow the brain cells to utilize dopamine in a more efficient way. It can make better connections or synapses between the neurons, and it can encourage blood flow to the brain, which you can understand would be important. If your cardiologist gives you the okay, then the idea would be to increase your heart rate for about 20-30 minutes, 3-4 times a week. The next aspect of exercise is stretching. So patients with Parkinson's can get rigidity or stiffness in the joints, so opening up the chest, opening up the arms and legs. The key with stretching is to go really slow, really ease into the position, not to get to the point of causing pain. Don't overstretch the muscles, and hold those positions for about 30 seconds. During the hold, it's important to take nice deep breaths in and out to get the oxygen going to the muscles. The third aspect of exercise is strengthening. So that could mean weights or bands, and that could be free weights or machines, but anything that is providing resistance against the limbs that are being strengthened. There's actually a really interesting study that looked at patients who'd had Parkinson's on average of 7 years. And half of the group, they had them do what's called progressive resistance exercise, where they were increasing the amount of weight or increasing the number of repetitions that they were doing. The other half, they had them just do a more basic exercise program. And they found over the course of 2 years that not only was the progressive resistance exercise group better off than the other group, they were actually better than their own baseline at the beginning of the study. So for a degenerative condition to get better over the course of 2 years is really huge, and again points to what patients can do. Another cool thing that came out in the study was that the people who were in the progressive resistance exercise group needed less medication over the course of the 2 years. Both groups required increases of medications, but the progressive resistance exercise group needed less of an increase of medication. So again, really proof that exercise is like a drug. It's really doing something at the level of the brain. It's not just good for your body or your muscles, it's really good for the brain. The fourth aspect of exercise is balance or walking. I like patients to try Tai Chi or yoga so they can really emphasize balance. And the fifth aspect is putting it all together. Doing something that's mindful, that's skill-based. And that again gets back into neuroplasticity in terms of these behaviors that can actually make changes in the brain. When you're doing something that's mindful, you're really connecting your mind and your body. So if you're doing something like boxing or dance, you really have to be aware of where your body is and what you're doing, as opposed to a repetitive movement, which you might start to focus on something else. When you're distracted while you're exercising, you're not getting the same benefits out of it. So doing something that's fun, that changes it up, like dance or boxing, is a nice way to bring it all together. I don't want people to feel overwhelmed by these recommendations. Always remember to start small, go slowly, don't overdo it, make sure to stay safe. But the idea is anything you're doing, you can try to either maximize it or get more benefit from every hour that you spend.